Hello and welcome to Flory Models Kit View Time. Today we've got Trumpeter's latest release. This is the 1/35th scale AH-1W Super Cobra. And let's face it, iconic aircraft, the Cobra, right for the classic or the Super Cobras. But yeah, something very, very nice about this particular one. So, Trumpeter, following on their range of huge 35th scale helicopters at the moment. Obviously, we've seen various ones, Heinz, and we've seen Hueys, and now we've got the Cobra family coming down the line as well. So very, very nice. Let's say nice little bit of box art on that one. Do like that. And then again, we've got a little bit of what we can expect in the box. That looks pretty good. Your kit number for this one is 5116. All right, and a few little bits of the marking options and the weapons. So we've got the usual things, sort of Hydra rockets, Hellfires, and we've got some sidewinders on there as well. So in the box we are greeted by, stand up, there we go, we've got the usual bump sheet on here as well, as always. So in here we've got the Gerald R. Ford, which is coming down the line new, brand new tooling. To be honest, we're quite excited about that one. And obviously we've got the bits on the Cobra down in there, and we've got a Striker as well. All right, so you can see huge big sprues, you know, down here. I thought it was a really large box, considering we've looked at other boxes from things like the Huey and things like that. They've been quite small. There we go. We've got the blades. I assume that's clear parts down in that one as well. We've got some of the engine-y bits. We've got the weaponry. So we've got the actual bits in there. And we've got some more of the delicate bits. Looks like cockpit and engine type areas down in there. As always with these kits these days, we've got the obligatory mask set for it, which is really nice as well. We've got decals. We've got a nice chunk of Photo-etch as well. So that's quite nice. And of course, we've got the obligatory instructions down in here as well. So let's get the colour pull out as well. We'll look at that in a moment. So usual thing, it's a dual sheet on these ones. So we've actually got the parts layouts down in here, and then we are straight at it, strangely enough, with the exhausts. So down the back end, the exhaust area and all the rest of it, doing all of those being fitted down in there. Then we're straight back to the cockpit. So usual thing is that tandem cockpit, the various parts going down in here as well. Again, it'd be nice to see what the instrument panels look like and all the rest of it. So those all being fitted. We've got the seats going down in here, seats being fitted. We've sort of got the TADs down here at the front and the various parts going on to this one. Got a heads-up display, obviously down for the pilot. Some boxes to the rear. All right, then we move across to the actual engine section. So it has got quite a basic engine right the way through, but very nice. We've got an engine bay area as well, with all of the parts fitted just down in with those ones. Then we're making our way over to the actual main sort of gearbox area, up to the rotor head and all the areas. So actually we've got quite a nice little bit of detail down in here, so that's quite nice indeed. All right, then you put the exhausts onto the back of the engines themselves. Then we've got the main gun area down on the front, so we've got the ammunition areas for those ones, the sort of, you know, bay and electronics bay underneath. Then we've got that 3-barrel cannon itself being fitted down on here, or it's a Gatling gun technically, not a cannon. All right, so that one's being fitted, and then it's time to put all these together. So tail hook's going to get sandwiched down at the back there. Engine system goes in, cockpit system, and then the front area with the actual chin gun being fitted down here at the back. A couple of bits down in here. Obviously, you've got Photo-etch some of the grille covers, which is quite nice. A little bit of grille work underneath, and we've got the usual obligatory lumps and bumps of the actual wire strike protection system being fitted down in here as well. Then we're over to the actual main cockpit type area again, with the masking of the clear parts being put on. Really nice as well. So we've got the doors, which obviously act as a step as well on the actual engines as well, so those can all be open. Again, it's going to be one of these ones, you're going to make sure these are totally dry before you actually fit them all on. So we've actually got the main skids, but they are in 4 pieces. Down, well, 6 including the actual skid itself. So again, it's going to be a bit of an alignment issue instead of the usual way of doing it, of bolting those in. So we're making sure those are all good. And then coming around to the other side, we've got all the lumps and bumps put on. So we've got the TAD system down at the front being fitted onto this one. We've got the sort of air intakes as well for the engines. Those are being fitted down in there. We've got the doors for the actual bays on the sides, and all the rest of it just like that. So that's actually looking very nice indeed. Then it's over to the weaponry. So we've got the actual pylons and the various parts fitted down in here. And obviously this one's going to be carrying the usual obligatory Hydra rockets and obviously Hellfires. And if you wanted to, you could fit it out with sidewinders as well. All right, then obviously the little stud pylons being fitted onto here. We've got the disco light on the back, usual plethora of aerials and detections onto this one as well. So we've got the sensors being fitted all over to it, just like that. All right, main rotor head, these giant thick whopper blades as we call them, down into fitted at the back. We've got the main post as well being fitted down into this one with a swash plate and the usual bits fitted to it, and that's going to be a drop-on fit at the back. Tail rotor on, and then we've got the planes being fitted down at the back, pretty much completing your build. Last up, the actual weapons themselves. So we said we got some Hellfires, we got some Sidewinders as well, we got some Hydra rockets as well. So we got the big and the smaller rounds with those ones, depending how you wanted it to be fitted out. Generally, cool. Just one way to describe this helicopter is cool. All right, marking guides. So down in here, we've got that usual thing of the actual light and dark ghost greys being fitted down this one, and obviously with the gunship on the top. Internal colours as well, that sort of standard greeny yellow colour down in all the internals, and the usual parts being fitted down on there, pretty straightforward. All right, I think we've got the Argonauts, and who else we got down in here? I don't recognise the one. Has it not got a VMFA number? There we go. So yes, so VMFA down in there of 542 on that particular one. And we got a nice digi-camo one. And I must admit, I did a digi-camo Hornet many years ago. So we've got that one down in there as well. So yeah, very nice as well. Good job on those ones. So it's HMT 303 as well with that one. So good stuff. So as we said before, I can find my note. Here it is. We've got the various parts down in here. So these, I call these wallpaper only because they've got texture like wallpaper, but actually I have used them on previous builds and they work really well. So it's die cut mask set, and again they just work very well, even though they do have a wallpaper type finish. All right, that one down in there, and then obviously we've got the grills and the various things. So ammunition feeder down in here. All right, and again, it looks like we've got chaff and flare buckets down on this one, and all the grills and the various parts. The only thing we don't get is any harnesses whatsoever with this particular one. So that's that one there. And then into the actual decals themselves, just lift the blade underneath. We've actually got them just down in here. Good, solid, strong colours all the way through. Nothing wrong with that. So instrument panel and the various things, we've got the decals for those if you wanted to do it that way, or I'm sure you could probably do it manually, or if you want to wait a little while, I'm sure the aftermarket people will be on it, no problem at all. All right, so onto the kit itself. So the big sprue. Again, it's a really large sprue, but it is a large helicopter. We are talking, 35th scale. So as you can see, it is an absolute beast. It's a chunky beast. And again, we've got that usual way that we've seen it with all their type of kits these days of all the helos. We've actually got some really nice raised detail. I'll catch this in the light. It's a funny plastic. There we go. Catch it in the light. So all the latches, lumps and bumps are all raised. It's actually got some nice texture to it. So I'll get it to, there you go. Right the way across, all right? But when you move down to the back to the tail with the finer sort of riveting, although it would be raised, the reality is they've done it as recessed. So again, there's a little bit of debate about this one, and I firmly sit on the fence, because in some ways it's nice with it being recessed, because quite frankly you can get more detail in with recessed details than you can with raised, and also it takes a wash really well. And what is nice is you do have some really nice, as I said before, raised details on this. So it's not like you're really missing out on tons of it. All right. So actually, I think it is well worth the balance that they've achieved with these ones. But as you can see, hopefully you've got very nice textures of this all the way through. So that's nice. The cockpit section, to be honest, that's a really nice detailed panel in there. So you could actually easily hand paint a lot of the details, as goes with all the plethora of lumps and bumps on the sides and things like that. So the gunners, combing down here at the back again. You can obviously have the TDAC on here, but generally all the other gauges and that look very nice indeed. And then down on here we've got some of the smaller lumps and bumps and some of the equipment. That looks very nice with all of those. We've got the collectives down there and the cyclics. looking very good. Obviously in the inside there's nothing going to be going on in here at all, because it's all going to be plug-in areas for them just like that. All right, so again, that actually, to be honest with you, is really nicely done. The other thing I would say as well, it's a harder plastic than we've seen of late. So again, it takes this detail really, really well and nice. So very much appreciating that. Okay, let's go back to the engine and some of the bays and things like that. And again, very nicely done. One piece with this, the actual exhaust combing area itself looks very, very nice indeed. A little bit of sort of slide molding that they've done with this outer part down in here. And the rest of it, to be honest with you, all looks very nice indeed. All right, so if we have a spin round, you've got some of the smaller parts up here on Sprue D, tail rotor, the upper ones, and again, it's all recessed, but does have raised details around these as well. But again, it looks very, very good indeed. Some of those pylons, or the outer pylon areas, looking very nice. Again, nice textures and details on here as well with these bulkheads, so around the engines, and the exhausts themselves. The exhausts go through, and obviously they've got the sort of IR suppressors on the back of them anyway, so that you don't need them to be anything fancy, so that's very good. Okay, so some more of the details down in here. We have the protective bits. I wonder if I can just, oh, we can, look at that. We'll keep that nice and safe. So this is Sprue C. So here we have Sprue C, just like this. Looks good. And again, all the areas nicely done. A little bit chunky monkey with the old locating tabs joining up to the part. The actual sprue gates looking a bit chunky on there, especially in that position. It's a little bit gnarly, but generally the rest of it looking pretty good. There's the post, just down in here. The ammunition boxes, which again, going to be hollows anyway. Swash plates, things like that up in here. The actual main rotor head and all the other parts. And then this is the nose, which again, cleverly done. It's almost like a plug or a slide molded area as well. So this is the nose, which obviously the electronics and the sights all sit underneath. It's nice that we don't have a seam line in the middle. So that's actually pretty darn good, like that. Okay. So I'll keep that bit safe and we'll repackage it up in a moment. Keep it all safe. Okay, so this is Sprue G, and we've got the sort of covers and the various parts down in here like that. We've got the side steps, all of these. Actually looks very nice indeed with these ones. These are those side steps which are going to be part of these, which are the actual covers. And again, there's a couple of ejector pins down in here, but they are going to be covered up, I think. So that's quite nice, nice and latchy. And then again, we've got the intakes with some really nice fine recessed details all around those and on the front, and these various others. These here are your skids. So again, it's a real shame they're not molded, because from a strength point of view, it'd be a lot firmer. This would be one of those, honestly, where I'd probably do it with super glue. So it's got an instant sort of grab and hold in position and doesn't have a chance to warp or walk or anything else like that. Maybe even something like a 3-minute epoxy to get those to go. But again, the skid detail, considering of what it is very, very fine. You got a lot of detail down on these for something that technically is just a skid. But you've got all the details onto that one, so good job with that. Okay, so down in here, we've got the rotors, I do believe, and maybe some of the engine bits. So, find the end. Where's the join? There we go. Okay, so we just unwrap this. So we've got a match pair, 2 Sprue Bs, which is fine. And then obviously down in here, you've got all the engine parts. And to be honest with you, the rotors are quite small on this, but they're very thick. You know, big chunky blades for this one. So Sprue B run round. All your parts, the engines, To be honest with you, actually, I think it's a really nice kit. A good jump off point with the engine detail. You've got just enough there to get you, what you need, and then you can add to it. The lamination on the rotors looks pretty good. No problem. It is a one piece. There's no sink marks or anything else like that into it. That's pretty nice. It's got a funny color texture, but that's just the temperature of which it's all being pumped in. So that all looks very, very nice indeed. And as we said before, we've got a match pair with that. Okay. Then we've got the weapons. So pretty straightforward. We've got your dual sprue, again, sprue J. So we've got two of these. So we've actually got down in here, you've got your Hellfires, one piece, which is quite nice. So just a bit of a nose on that, small little seam just to clean up, just down in here. So they're very nice. All right, with those. Got your sway braces as well for the pylons. We've got Hydras down in here. We've actually got your Hellfire rack. And then obviously we've got the nose for the 7-shot Hydras. We've got the bigger panel just down in here with the other ones. The Sidewinder, standard, pretty much. I was going to say, to be honest with you, I thought this was supposed to, oh, it is a lemur, yeah. So it has got a slight little deviation just down in here. That's the lemurs and the mics. All right. Separate fins, tops pretty much standard. And then again, looking at it, oh it is, yeah, sorry, got the noses for the Hellfires down in here. I was going to say, I didn't think they are got the radar guided ones, though these are the seeker head ones as well. So it would be a laser seeker in those ones. So, unless it's a ninja type. No, sorry, won't talk about that. Right, okay. Last up, we have the clear parts. So again, this is one of those ones. Trumpeter do really very, very nice clear parts. I've yet to had a really bad clear part, and I'm that confident I say that out loud as we look at it, just in case it is. And again, no, we are absolutely fine. They are beautifully done. It's a really complex shape, but the one thing Trumpeter's always done well is their clear parts, and they are very, very nice. Again, this one up here, obviously gunner gets it on the port side, pilot's on the starboard. So yeah, really crystal clear, very, very nice, no problem at all. And what's lovely with these, of course, is you're going to have a situation where you've got the mask set. So it's going to be an easy job just to mask that one up, just like that. All right. Very, very nice. I must admit, it's one of those ones. I know we caused a little bit of a stir, shall we say, when we were discussing the riveting being recessed, when technically it's raised. I think as long as you get past that and you're happy to go past it, and to be honest with you, we've spoken about it not just on Trumpeter kits, on Airfix kits and other people's as well, where they've gone down the same route. One of the biggest things is you can get more riveting and closer if it's recessed than you can if it's raised. And because of the scale, and obviously we're scaling this down, in this case to 1/35th scale, it's the only really way of doing it. And I understand why companies do it. Because to be honest, from a tooling point of view, there's not a lot of difference between doing it raised and doing it recessed. But the thing is, if you have too many rivets in an area, and obviously there's quite a few back here and all the rest of it, if you have them raised, it's a bigger footprint than it is if it's recessed. So that way you can make finer recessed than you can raised, if that makes sense. So that's what a lot of the manufacturers do. What this kit has done, like the others we've seen before, is giving you the raised stuff where you want it the most. So access ports and latches and things like that, lumps and bumps like you do, it's got all the raised details on it. The main body riveting doesn't. All right, so from that point of view, I think we can forgive it. Also, if you're like me, for years and years and years, you were literally chirping on about, oh, you wish it was recessed because weathering is so much easier. Now they give us all of that. Now a lot of people are like, I wish it was raised. No, let's keep with the recessed. I think it's a lot easier to work with, especially for not having to replace raised rivets compared to actually replacing recessed rivets, because obviously it's a lot easier with just re-riveting it than it is putting in raised ones. Anyway, that is the gorgeous, and I think a build I am going to be doing, because I absolutely love this one, of the Trumpeter 1/35th scale AH-1W Super Cobra.